About 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, I got a call from a friend. My friend runs a retail business, and he had something interesting to talk to me about. He said, listen, you don't know a lot about my business, just some, but let me tell you some details. We've got two primary channels that we run our business against. One is wholesale and one is direct. And over the past few weeks, we've seen pretty dramatic, as I know you probably know, changes in our business. In particular, our wholesale business has stopped almost entirely. Here's the thing. Part of our business is actually working really well right now, our direct business. We've seen an increase of over 50% daily in transactions. And this is not a small business, mind you. This is a multi-$100 million a year gross merchandise selling business. So his question to me was simple. We've been thinking about digital transformation for years now, and we've made some investments. But the time's right now for me to take advantage of how we can move all of our efforts forward as quickly as possible. What are the tools? What are the processes? What are the questions that I need to be asking so that I can make sure that my business doesn't just navigate through these challenging times, but is more effective and successful as we come through on the other side? My name's Jascha Kaykas-Wolff. I've been in go-to-market executive roles in multiple companies over the course of the last 20 years. During that time, over the last 20 years, I've been in organizations like Microsoft, where myself and a handful of colleagues created the direct business for Microsoft, the Microsoft Store. And over the last half a decade, I've spent time as the Chief Marketing Officer at Mozilla, responsible for a product called Firefox, where hundreds of millions of people use the product every single day. Over the last 20 years, I've had two theories that the teams that I've worked with have tried to pull on to have more impact into the business. The first is that marketing teams and go-to-market teams generally can be more efficient and more effective. And they can be more efficient and more effective by adopting processes and better communications that are taught through engineering and product work, in particular agile and lean. In addition to communications and processes, I've been focused on, for my entire career, helping businesses build a technology stack to support the go-to-market. Some people may call that today digital transformation. Some people may call that marketing technology. Throughout the years, I've started investing in things as simple as log file analytics to get a better sense of behavioral information about my customers, into the first instantiations of CRM and marketing automation. And over the course of the last 15 years in particular, I have tried to focus on what is the right technology stack to better know my customer so that my business can be more effective. It's why I'm so excited to have joined Lytics as the president just 5 short months ago, because I believe that in my quest to find the right technology stack to help support me as a business driver, the missing equation, or the missing part of the equation, has been to find that CDP that allows for me to know the right information about my customers to help me take action next. And it's with that background that I want to spend the next 10 minutes with you talking about some of the misconceptions that may exist for you when you hear the term digital transformation. I want to share with you first-party research that we've done at Lytics that can help you dispel some of those myths. And I want to end on a short story about a very innovative customer that we're currently working with at Lytics that's proving the point that when you connect the right data together with the right data science, you can have meaningful impact to your customers right now. Digital transformation is a loaded term. And for the past 15 plus years, as the internet has become more and more prominent in our daily lives, businesses have talked about it as a nice to have. When we really break down what digital transformation means, it is all about the focus of the business to better know your customer, to build a deeper relationship that adds more value to your customer and in turn helps your business be more successful. But when digital transformation is approached as a nice to have, traditional businesses have really thought about it in kind of 3 potential paths. The first has been something that probably many of you have experienced. We have to build a 360-degree profile of our customer. It has to have all the information that we have available to us, and we know how to do it, so we're going to build it in-house, and that might look like a big IT project. You've probably also been in experiences or known people who have said, we don't necessarily have all the right people together or the expertise, so we're going to hire support from the outside, strategic consulting like a McKinsey or someone to help us move through that project. And what we've seen more recently is that big businesses, traditional businesses that know that digital transformation is important, but still view as a nice to have, are starting to wade into the waters by doing partnerships. Those partnerships might look like a partnership between a Toyota and an Uber or a Lyft, or they might look more like an acquisition where Unilever goes out and buys a Dollar Shave Club. The reality is that when digital transformation is a nice to have, time is on your side. But digital transformation is becoming more important in our lives and in our businesses. Digital transformation, I would submit to all of you, is no longer a nice to have. It's now a lifeline, like my friend's business, or like a business that I've worked with. Fandango is a company that many of you have probably heard of. In fact, I am a customer of Fandango. Their business is fundamentally about connecting me as a buyer of movie tickets to theaters all over the world. And as they've thought about digital transformation, it's been a nice to have. So they've added in capabilities like a movie review site like Rotten Tomatoes. And in fact, they went through an acquisition or acquired a company called MGO back in 2016. Some of you may not know this, but MGO was a digital streaming service, one of the earlier digital streaming services. And when they acquired MGO, they said, we're going to figure out a way for this to be a part of our business. Interestingly, over the past 3 weeks, like my friend's business, their business has been disrupted massively. Their core revenue has been stopped, selling tickets to theaters. Digital transformation is no longer a nice to have, it's a lifeline. And a business like Fandango now is seeing Fandango Now, the renamed, rebrand, acquired MGO, as their primary source of revenue and growth. Wading into digital transformation as a nice to have won't help you be successful right now. Thinking through digital transformation and the initiative around it is a lifeline. Digital transformation takes years. This is something that many of you probably in the back of your mind think about. If I want to do a project around digital transformation, it's going to be big and it's going to be expensive. It's probably going to be big and expensive because it's led by IT and it's a project to connect together all of your data lakes to get a 360 view of your customer. And that means a massive, comprehensive mapping project. And sometimes you may not have the right technology and partners to help you do that. So it also includes a long and complicated process of developing an RFP. When you hear digital transformation, you probably have thought, well, it's a nice to have because it's a multi-month and multi-year implementation, and I just can't afford to do that. But here's the thing. The promise of digital transformation is real. It is a lifeline now, not a nice to have. And it is actually accessible to all of us as long as we approach it correctly. One of the major selling points of a CDP and a project around digital transformation in particular is that you can connect together all of the data about your customer. And here is what's important. You do not need to connect together all of your customer data to create an environment where you can add more value to your users, to your customers, and in turn help your business. Lytics has run a study over the course of the last few years looking at all of the hundreds of implementations that we've run with some of the biggest brands in the world, some of the most innovative, digitally native businesses in the world. And what we found is that on average, customers ask to and want to map over 100 different custom fields about their users. Because the promise and the need of digital transformation is that you have to connect everything together. What we've also found, and this is incredibly important, is that less than 10% of custom fields built around a customer profile are actually used to create segmentation and ultimately take action to support a better experience for your customer. Think about that. We've been told for years and decades that digital transformation is about all of the connected data around your customer. And what we see as a business who's an expert in helping companies take better and smarter actions with their customers is that, in fact, the need to connect all your customer data to help better your customer experience isn't actually necessary. It's about the right data. What we see further is that in order to create that great experience that adds value to your customer and in turn helps your business, The data that is most important, in fact, with our machine learning and learnings, we found that just above 80% of the data necessary to create best and the better recommendations come from behavioral data first. What your customers are doing on your digital properties and what content they're actually engaging with. Conversely, less than 20% of the predictions necessary to create a deeper relationship are actually coming from those custom mapped data fields. So let's think about that again. We've been told digital transformation is a multi-month, multi-year strategic engagement. We've been told that the primary requirement is we have to create a 360-degree view of our customer, and we have to connect together all of the data about our customers in all of our data lakes. What we have learned through the expertise that we have built behind driving multiple companies through an implementation of Lytics is that it's actually not true. That the vast majority of the information you need to create a deeper customer relationship comes from the behavioral data that you have at your fingertips, and the right customer data that you've asked for and collected from your customers over time. What happens when you connect together the right data with the right science? Well, you can create great customer experiences. One of our favorite customers, one of the more innovative marketing organizations, is with the business Purina. Purina, many of you may not know, own a site called Pet Finder. We've used Pet Finder as a family at my house to actually find another dog. Pet Finder is a premier website, and it helps individuals like us and our family find who our next animal is going to be. What Purina cares about, and this is where they're incredibly innovative, is how they can build deeper relationships with their customers, not just to sell more products, but to create more loyalty to their brands. What Purina did with Lytics is set out to identify what behavioral data, what on-site behaviors were available to them in the experience of Pet Finder that allowed for them to create better loyalty with their customers. Purina found that the behavioral data, the on-site behaviors, were all the tools necessary for them to be able to personalize the nutrition options for any of the pets that you either had or you were interested in when you're using Pet Finder. They delight their customers by simplifying their pet adoption journey. The reward that their business gets is loyalty. This implementation does lots of important optimizations for the Purina business. They're able to see better conversion rates. They're able to see decrease in cost in ads. All of the dynamics around a more effective business stem from being focused on how you create a better experience for your customers. And it's not just Purina, and it's not just CPG companies. It's different companies in different industries when they're focused on connecting together the right data with the right science. They're able to create deeper and more meaningful customer relationships right now. If this talk is interesting to you, in two regards. One, if you think that notion of digital transformation is important for your business, and you're intrigued at the ability to collect the right kind of data and connect it with the right kind of data science to create real business value right now, please reach out to me directly. I've dropped down an email here, learn@lytics.com, that goes directly through to me and a couple of my colleagues. So if you send us a note, we'll be sure to get back to you and answer questions you may have. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Jascha Kaykas-Wolff. I'm the president at Lytics. And Wendy, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Great. Thanks for the great presentation, Jascha. For the folks watching, as a reminder, you can download a copy of Jascha's slide deck in the Resource Center, which is on the bottom of your viewing console. Stay tuned for the next session, which you will find in the Engagement Hub. Thanks for watching.